I'm at 6902 Moorfield Drive in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's Mount Washington. And we're doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. Our access point is a rear stack. There's a clean out. You can see here is the rear stack. We're just behind the, we're just next to the stationary tub and the little workbench here. Trying to remove a little piece off of my camera here. Which kind of having a little bit of trouble. So we'll try one more thing here. Okay. Sorry about that. There's a bunch of dead airspace here in the beginning of this video, but we know that we have PVC up at the top, we have copper here, and then it's cast iron as it goes down through the floor. Cast iron is not a bad material, but it does rust. And as you can see, this house has been empty for quite a while, and it probably knocked some of this stuff down into the base of the line here. And so there's a little bit of a belly at the base of the stack mixed with that material. That's not an issue at the base of a stack like that. Is pretty normal because all the speed that it has as it drops down that stack. Sometimes you'll have a little bit of washout at the base, but usually also because of the stack, a lot of times it sits a little bit lower just because of the extra weight. And so a lot of times you'll have a little bit of a low spot there where it holds a little bit of water at the base of the stack. We can see a little bit of channeling here, which is fairly normal with cast iron. Cast iron is really hard to gauge due to the fact that it does rust, and so it's really hard to tell how much life it has left in it. Biggest thing being that it does, like I said, it's going to rust, and so there's really no way of telling how thin or thick the pipe walls are. So in these situations, you're looking for anything, any kind of obvious holes or broken pipe, stuff like that. It always has really jagged edges like this, just due to the rust and the buildup of the material on the inside and how rough it is. And so this isn't pretty, but it does seem to be functioning properly. We will run some water through it to see. And this is where we sometimes come into an issue with these cast iron lines. There's a clean out in the front of the house that has been filled with concrete. It's a thin set, and so it can be broke, but see, if you look at this, we're getting ready to drop off. So we're right at that clean out, and then this thing drops down, and then it will turn and go out. The thing about it is, when you're coming from this direction with the camera, what happens is that you the camera goes down, but you're still kind of pushing forward, and so a lot of times the camera will drop, but it won't go through the bend at the base of this turn here. And so sometimes it won't even go down. And so as you see, if we need to be in that clean out for it to be able to go forward. And so I'm not sure what we're going to be able to do here to be able to get the camera where it needs to go. Sometimes we can fight it and get it through, but a lot of times, just like at the base of this stack, you'll have a turn and it'll be washed out and it won't make this turn. And so right as soon as it turns, it looks like it's going out of the house. Okay, I think I got it through, but we're not 100% yet. So what I may have to do here is try to run some water upstairs, see if I can get it through. The best thing would be to open up that clean out, but I don't know if I can get access to that, just due to the fact that I don't know if I can contact the seller or the owner and be able to be allowed to open that clean out up, because it has concrete in it. I'm going to pause the video for a second. I'm going to try to run some water through here and see if that helps push that camera through that offset. Okay, so I'm running a little bit of water, but I think we're going to be able to open up that clean out there, right there at that S bend, and so shouldn't be a problem. The good news is we got to inspect the so the good news is I think we're going to be able to go through that. So what I'm going to do, because I can't get it to go any further, is I'm going to go ahead and pull back to the top of this S bend, like we mentioned, and then I'm going to go ahead and get prepared to go through the other clean out. We'll take a look at this cast iron again as we pull back. Again, it's not pretty, never is, but it is functional. And I don't see any large solids in the way. You can see that the rust and stuff where this is all pretty normal looking cast iron as far as the age is concerned. This is all just kind of, it's open and flowing, but it does have some wear to it. You can, there's an option to descale these, as some people do, where they will descale the line. Basically what they do is they run a chain through here and they knock all the rust off and kind of make sure that the shape of the pipe is similar to the original pipe size and opening. Right now though, the line is functioning fine, and so what we're going to do is we're going to pause, make a move, and get ready to go down through that other clean out so we can inspect the exterior line. But the interior cast iron isn't pretty, but it is functioning, and no major structural issues found. So we're going to pause the video and move on over to the other clean out so we can inspect the exterior line. Okay, so we've removed the little bit of inset there from the top of this clean out at the base of the steps. I'm going to go through here and inspect the rest of the line. show you where this is. You can see what's that. Here is the steps as we come down, and here is the clean out, and this should go. As you can see how rough this already looks, but this is all dry. So as we get down here, we should be able to push straight out. Problem is we've gone out into 6-inch concrete pipe, which is really good pipe, but a little bit of water held right at the transition where it goes from the 4-inch cast iron into the 6-inch concrete. This is a cul-de-sac, so it's pretty hard to tell. I didn't look to see where the clean out was, or where the sewer main was, but it can go a long way out into the street, or it could be a short distance up into the yard, depending on where the sewer main begins or ends. Now, so far, this line looks really good. Concrete is a pretty good material. This age of house either had concrete or clay. Clay is a little more susceptible to root intrusion. Now concrete does wear away at the bottom. If you notice, you can see kind of the rocks, just the exposed aggregate, just from the water slowly wearing away a little bit of a layer of the concrete, but it doesn't. It's not a problem at all. And so far, this line looks really good. It's a little bit rough on the bottom, but meaning that as you push the camera along, you can see it kind of vibrating a lot more than it would on clay, just because of kind of the sandpaper finish of the concrete too. So I know we might be going kind of fast. We'll try to go a little bit slower on the way back, but we would be able to see any kind of structural issues from here and now. Anyway, and there we are looking into the main. So we're almost exactly 100 feet out from this clean out to the sewer main, and the exterior concrete looked great. Nothing wrong with that pipe whatsoever. Really, the whole line looked good for its age. The cast iron was a little rough, and like we mentioned earlier, that can be taken care of. If you want to have it, you can have it descaled, meaning you can have them kind of scrape the rust off the inside of that interior pipe, and that would just, the biggest fear of that is different plumbers have different opinions on it. As far as sometimes if the pipe walls are thin, you could actually cause damage to the pipe, and so a lot of times until you start having some issues with the line, and as far as backups are concerned, usually don't recommend that. Again, this concrete on the outside looked great, but I'm going back to the cast iron, and just to say that because of that, you don't want to use on cast iron. I always like to let people know that it is more susceptible because of how rough the insides of those pipes are. It's a lot more susceptible to soft clogs or clogs from toilet paper, and especially from wet wipes. So don't use wet wipes. Even if they say they're flushable, they are not and shouldn't be. They don't break down like toilet paper does. And toilet paper will disintegrate underwater. Does in that way, if they do stick on something, they'll just disintegrate and wash on down the line. Wet wipes will not do that.
they will catch and they won't disintegrate. It takes an awfully long time, and by then you've already got a backup. And so I just like to tell people to steer clear of the wet wipes. If you're going to use them, throw them in the trash. Don't throw them down your toilet. But as we pull back, you can tell that this concrete, it looks great. It's wide open, free-flowing, no root intrusion, no structural issues. This looks really good. See, there's not even any water at the bottom of the pipe. I mean, there's a little bit, obviously, but nothing, not holding any water or anything. The only spot that held any water was right next to the connection where the line goes from a 4-inch to a 6-inch, and it's pretty normal because it's inserted into, the 4 inches inserted into the 6-inch, so it tends to hold a little bit. But again, this camera lens is only about a 1/2 inch off the bottom of the pipe, and so 1/2 inch of water is normal in a 6-inch diameter pipe especially. See how it's flashing through there? It just means there's very, very little water there, and it's right at that transition. And this is the bottom of the clean out. So, we are all the way back and back into the drum. So, we made it all the way out to the main. All the exterior concrete looked beautiful. No issues whatsoever. The interior cast iron, like we mentioned, it looks rough. But normal for its age. It's open and flowing. It's just rusty, and so it is something that you will have to pay attention to, just based off of the nature of the material. Again, a little more susceptible to the soft clogs, so no paper towels, no wet wipes, those things. Just because of how rough the pipe walls are, like I mentioned, they are more susceptible to soft clogs. But overall, the line is open and flowing and functional at time of inspection. And so, a little bit of, you always want to pay attention to old sewer lines, just because, you know, everything old needs maintenance. But overall, the line looked good for its age. So that'll end the inspection at 6902 Moorfield Drive in Cincinnati, Ohio, Mount Washington.